believe this? Tyler Reddick goes 4 for 6 to open this season. This is like getting out of hand. Jake May and May Motorsports, welcome back. Let's review the Darlington weekend. So let's just start with Tyler Reddick, the obvious here. This is absolutely insane at this point. Not only did he qualify on pole, but this win was not easy. He had to come back from an alternator issue, so he had to turn off some things in his car to make sure his battery lasted to the end. So he was basically cooking in there with no cool suit. And not only that, but also late in the race, he had contact with Chris Buescher that could have led to a disaster for Reddick, but luckily he got away with it unscathed. On fresher tires at the very end, he blew by the 6 of Brad Keselowski to get his 4th win in the first 6 races of the season. Absolutely ridiculous at this point, man. I've always had faith in Tyler Reddick's driving ability. He is a 2-time O'Reilly Series champion. He won the regular season championship just a couple years ago. And after a winless 2025, he's already broken the most wins in a single season for himself. The previous record was 3 on 2 occasions. He's already got 4, and there's still 30 races left. I know a lot of people are sketched out like, oh, 2311 was just involved in the lawsuit with NASCAR. It's kind of sketchy how they're winning all these races, like NASCAR's paying them back from all the lawsuit crap. That is just not the case. I don't believe in any of that rigging, because if that were the case, they would have been sure to let Bubba get a win by now, and he has not won yet. And don't forget, Front Row Motorsports was also involved in this lawsuit, and they've done absolutely nothing. I think we should just go over from the start the race results. There was no IndyCar this week, no Formula One, but just a triple header weekend: trucks, O'Reilly, and the Cup. All right, so here are the finishing results. Today I'll go over all the important ones. Tyler Reddick, 70 points, led 77 laps despite being sent to the back on a couple occasions to try and fix his electrical issues. I know he had to replace a battery too for a bigger one. It's like every single win, like besides like Coda, he's had to come back from some adversity. Daytona was like, he was in the back for a bit, the front. Atlanta involved in a crash in the final stage and still drove his way back up to the front. And Darlington on Sunday with the battery issues. Brad Keselowski, man. Shame. I was really rooting for a Brad Keselowski win in that Greg Biffle throwback. Probably, I would say, his best race ever in the next gen. I know he won at this track 2 years ago, and that's been his only win in the next gen era. But he dominated, won both stages, stage 1 and stage 2, led a race high 142 laps. I don't think he's ever led this many laps in a next gen race, or this percentage of a race ever. So good for Brad. All of RFK was fast. We'll get to the rest of the drivers later in RFK. To no one's surprise, once again, Ryan Blaney, a very solid finish. He, I would say, had the second best car behind Tyler Reddick. The problem was he got sent back because of a pit road issue. His team did not get a lug nut tight, so he had to come back down pit road. Not back down pit road, actually. I forgot there's a rule. If you are teammates with somebody and halfway down pit row when you've already made your pit stop, you realize you have an issue, you can go into one of your teammates' boxes and that pit crew will assist you with the issue. So Blaney did that. He pulled into, I believe, Austin Cindric's pit stall, got that fixed, clawed his way back past a lot of cars. Again, good long run speed as always for Blaney. The Hurricane Carson Hocevar started dead last after breaking a couple toe links in qualifying by hitting the wall. That final run, he had a few laps fresher tires, but he was like 15th a lot of this day, I would say. That last run, he was passing cars like crazy, made a nice 3-wide move, got a little crazy, didn't take anybody out. That first win's coming for Carson Hocevar, super impressive. Luckily, he had a good Cup race because he was on track to win the Truck Series race. Had a flat tire, some issue late, took him out of it. But that first Cup win, man, is coming. Spire arguably has more speed than Hendrick right now, which is rare, but great run for Carson Hocevar. Austin Cindric gets his first top 5 of the year. This is his first top 5, I think, since August, actually. He's had good pace this season, surprisingly, because usually Austin Cindric is the weakest of the Penske cars. But top 5 today. Same cannot be said about Joey Logano. We'll get to him in a little bit. So 2 Penske cars in the top 5. Ty Gibbs continues his hot streak. 6th place. Not a top 5. 6th is very respectable. And speaking of Spire Motorsports, I'd love to see this. Daniel Suarez, 7th place at Darlington. He outpaced all of the Trackhouse cars. So that's that Chastain versus Suarez rivalry. Give a 1-up to Suarez. Hell yeah. Got a couple stage points as well. The only Hendrick car in the top 10 today. Not today, Sunday. William Byron. He was solid all day, but rough day for Hendrick. Nothing really crazy there. 8th place. Chris Buescher could have also won this race. That's a shame. He was, by the end of stage 2, it was like Keselowski, Buescher, and Ryan Preece, all 3 RFK cars running 1, 2, and 3. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out. Stage 2, Buescher almost passed Keselowski, and he was up there in the mix for the win, clearly, in that last stage. However, a miscommunication getting onto pit road, I mentioned this earlier, Tyler Reddick ran into the back of Chris Buescher, sending him into the fence. Chris Buescher, I think, was trying to come down pit road, but it was like a last-second call. Like, they didn't plan on coming in that lap, but as they were going down the back straightaway, pit this time, Tyler Reddick did not know he was pitting, and as Chris Buescher tried to slow down extra early to make pit road entrance, Reddick ran into the back of him. Shades of 2 years ago when Reddick and Buescher collided, fighting for the win at the same racetrack, same race. Neither of them won that race because they both crashed out. Still a solid day for Chris Buescher. A lot of stage points, though. I wish he finished better. I wish he could have won. And then Eric Jones. Eric Jones, 2-time Southern 500 winner, brings it home in 10th. No surprise there. He spun out early. Eric Jones spun earlier in the race off the bumper of Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin smacked the wall due to that contact, and they both still finished okay, 10th and 11th for Eric Jones and Denny Hamlin. That incident, it just seemed like Denny was going to dive low, not expecting Eric Jones to go low as well. Went a little too fast, got into the back of the 43. And yeah, some other notables. Chase Briscoe and Ryan Preece, 12th and 13th. Briscoe was on track for, I would say, a top 5, but he had an incident with Riley Herbst. I think they got together at the few laps to go. Chase Briscoe lost a few spots. Still not a bad day for Briscoe. Ryan Preece was 3rd for a while, was up front. He faded a little bit later. Brings it home in 13th. The worst of the RFK cars, but overall a great day for RFK. Shane Van Gisbergen carrying the Trackhouse banner this year. Absolutely. Another top 15 on an oval. Impressive. I'm telling you, when he figures out ovals, the field is going to be in shambles. Chase Elliott in 15th, unfortunately, had good pace early, was actually running 4th for a while, and then Alan Gustafson absolutely sucks. I don't care what you say, he's terrible. He's thrown so many races away for Jeff Gordon in the past. I don't know what Alan expected, like Chase to drive through the field with the slightly fresher tires. It didn't pan out because once Chase got shuffled back in traffic, he could not recover, finishes 15th. Ross Chastain, 16th. Josh Berry, 17th. Connor Zilic had contact with Riley Herbst earlier, spun him around, finished 18th. Bell didn't do too much today, was up front earlier. I think he hit the wall or something, 19th. And Michael McDowell, the worst finishing Spire car, rounds out the top 20. Outside the top 20, one guy I really want to talk about is Joey Logano. There's no question that I think Blaney is, or at least has, the best Ford equipment. I think Blaney's a great driver too, but I know people don't like Joey Logano. But this is a showing that the Penske cars are not all on the same page. Like, what was that, Joey? He was running 35th on speed today. This might have been the worst race of Joey Logano's life. Just the fact that he had no speed, went a couple laps down early. Nothing at all. No show. Terrible for Joey Logano. That's going to be interesting in the team meetings if they had one yet. But wow, I don't know what that was. Blaney had plenty of speed like he always does. Even Cindric was fast. And Cindric's usually the worst of the 3 cars. But Logano, terrible day. Bubba Wallace was really fast and got a bunch of stage points in stage 1. He qualified second. But after that contact with Denny Hamlin and Eric Jones, he had issues after that, finishes 34th. He had the fastest lap of the race with a 30 flat. That's good, but still disappointing for Bubba Wallace. He was second in points, now he's down to third. A couple more guys before I finish this up. Kyle Larson, 32nd, was on track for a top 10-11. He hit the wall late, just trying to overdrive the car. Lost a bunch of spots. Beautiful. And Riley Herbst, the 35 car, finishes 35th, but he was actually on track for a really good race. He really was. He was running very good. So, overall, this race I thought was decent. I'm very happy they brought the horsepower up. I'm very happy they lowered the downforce. I thought the cars were definitely sliding around a lot more. We saw like 10 cars hit the wall in qualifying. You could pass for the lead. We saw Reddick pass Keselowski. Tires matter. There was 2, 3, 4 seconds of fall off at certain times. Different drivers up front too. Like you had the RFK cars dominating for a while. Then the Toyota's Briscoe was up front. Larson had some time up front before he faded back. Bubba Wallace was up front before his issue. Blaney came from the back to the front. Reddick came from the back to the front. So comers and goers, it happened. Yeah, Tyler Reddick had won by like 5 seconds, but you know. I know people are upset that the same guy wins. Nobody likes when the same guy wins over and over. Trust me, I was there. But I can see past it. I just think he's a really good driver, and his team is doing a really good job. Again, if it was rigged, they would have made sure Bubba got a win by now. They would have made sure that Front Row Motorsports would be running better than they actually are. And your top 3 of the point standings are Reddick by nearly 100 points, Blaney's back to second, and Bubba is in third. In trucks, though, before I finish this up, trucks, how Corey Heim does not have a ride, it makes no sense. He was like 15th on the first overtime attempt, and then he gained like 6 spots. And then on the last overtime attempt, he restarted 9th, and he drove his way around everybody on fresh tires to win. He wins the truck race. And then in O'Reilly, I thought it was going to be Kyle Larson. He dominated the entire thing, a late race restart. Bad pit stop. Justin Allgaier and Brandon Jones prevail. Allgaier gets around Brandon Jones. Justin Allgaier wins his 2nd race of the year. This coming week, we go to the legendary Martinsville Speedway. I'm very excited for that. I thought the extra horsepower helped with Darlington. While it wasn't a barn burner, it was a clean, traditional-looking NASCAR race. I'd rather it be a clean race with no BS yellow to spice things up at the very end than chaos. And Martinsville obviously has been hindered with the next-gen car, but let's see with the less downforce and more horsepower. We shall see. Can Tyler Reddick go 5 for 7? Well, Chevrolet finally going to win this year because Chevrolet is now 0 for 6 in the Cup Series. That wraps up this week's race review. Thanks for the support on the Daniel Dye video. You haven't seen it, go check it out. Got like 2.5 thousand views. I'll take that. Thank you guys so much for that. Hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Peace.